Hey, that's midweek Wednesday, A2HH Live. Coop, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been running around trying to get some things knocked out. A few things materializing that I will broadcast to the audience later. We want to
Mm,
welcome everybody into the room, man. We're gonna be talking out some new music today, talking about some new music. We didn't get a chance to talk about that Nas record last Friday with John Legend, so we'll talk about that a little bit.
mhm,
And it came across our wire that Nas and Snoop got a song coming out. So we're
mhm.
going to talk about that a little bit. And we'll talk about this upcoming Super Bowl performance because there's been a lot of things that are kind of rolling out in preparation for it. And you went out for a second, Coop. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up? What's up? You see me?
Yeah, for whatever reason. All right, yeah. Now you're back. Now you're back. Welcome everybody into the room. DeCarlo said, "What up, fellas?" Nas the Goat says, "Peace, Kings." 100 from J Mar. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Should we get right into the? No, I don't want to get right into the Pusha T song.
Can we
I
do a couple?
wanna, I wanna say, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a little bit of house cleaning. First of all, subscribe to the page. First bit.
Yep.
Second bit. Shout out to the Smith family, JJ and Holly. Go check out Holly at Salon Belladama in Sandy Springs. Just wanted to give them some love and send a shout out. Go pull up on Holly.
There it is. There it is. Just subscribe to the page. Shout out to the Smith family out there.
Yeah,
And
shout out.
yeah, hit that bell icon so you know when we live, so we're not just popping up on you. You know what? One of my favorite albums is celebrating an anniversary, 22nd anniversary. We were just talking about this album, Supreme Clientele. I think that was like what, yesterday? Yeah, February 8th. And one of my favorite rappers ever celebrated a birthday too that same day, Project Pat. Shout out to Project Pat. But we'll talk about Supreme Clientele a little bit because we posted that on the page on the community section or whatnot. And, people gave their responses about what their favorite songs were from that album.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were saying one.
Okay.
I saw Buck 50 a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, man. It changes for me a lot. Mighty Healthy might be my favorite one if you ask me today.
So, Mike, it is funny that we're having the same feeling because guess what record came on the day of the anniversary of the album being released in my playlist, Mike?
What's that?
Mighty Healthy, Mike. And when Mighty Healthy came on, I was like, man, this record's different.
It's
Like,
different.
and here's why it's different. It's different because you want to know what, Mike? More than any other record, maybe since that first album, it sounds like it belongs on Into the Wu-Tang, but I mean that in a great way, Mike. It
Both
sounds
hands
like something
crusty.
on
Chilling with my man Rusty Lowdown. Blew off the burner kind of dusty. Mmm.
beautiful record. It's a
It
beautiful
is.
record.
It is, man.
So I usually lean on We Made It, but I don't know if We Made It's better than Mighty Healthy. And one is one of my favorite, like my top five on that album, because that's how great the album is like Wu Banger 101, We Made It, One,
Mm.
Mighty Healthy. That four spot be changing. Sometimes it's Malcolm. A lot of the times it's Malcolm.
I can't believe you don't like Ghostini like that. I think the thing
I'm
that's
just not
so
in
crazy
awe of
about that
Stevie like
album,
the rest of y'all. That's all that is. I'm
the
just not
thing
in
that's
awe.
crazy about that album is he's special on every song. Whether it be collaborations, he's just special on there, man. Like
Every song is special. I don't know. No, he's pretty damn special on
he's
every song.
special. There's not a song that he's lacking on there.
No.
Like,
I said I take it back.
yeah, yeah. It's not like it's he showed to me on that album that he was elite. And before then, it was like we knew Method Man was elite because of, the placements that Method Man's had and the songs that he's been on. Method Man shines. And Ghost was doing that too on Wu Tang Forever. I think he really shined on that Holocaust record, the Bobby Digital, Silkworm.
Hmm.
Even though Holocaust had an all-time great verse, he still was able to make his presence felt. He did the same thing on Pete Rock's The Game.
Hmm.
With Prodigy and Raekwon and all that. But with this one, man, I mean, for me, when Supreme Clientele dropped, man, Ghost became one of my all-time favorites. And he was peaking towards that, even the Charlie Baltimore record. You know what I'm talking about? What's the name of that song? Stand Up? The Charlie Baltimore song featuring Ghost. Where they're in the streets and he like, I'm like Spider-Man's big brother up in the clan, drop like crack scattered all up in your van.
Mike, you don't got to pull that record out to prove your Ghostface Killer point.
I'm just saying, like, he was showing that he was special in them moments, but then Supreme Clientele dropped, and it's like, oh, yeah, he's all time.
I mean, to be honest with you, Mike, he sounded different to me. Like, when I heard Motherless Child after the Purple Tape, I was like, oh. I like, how about this, Mike? The reason why I'm not a bigger fan of Ghost Dini is because I prefer Motherless Child to Ghost Dini in terms of, like, storytelling, like, crime narrative Ghost. Like, I
don't know, man. I don't know if it's because Supreme Clientele was just very flashy like that, but it just, I don't know. It's different. It's different. And
I agree.
And
I agree with the sentiments.
Sonically, the way I think the timing too, like you said, at that point, Wu-Tang, I mean, I don't want to say Wu-Tang ever fell off on any level, but we knew that gritty era of Wu was over. And Ghost came with something that was different from that, but showed that it was at that same quality level, if that makes any sense.
I mean, Supreme Clientele is like, I guess it's their modern classic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, it's like, that's a different era classic right there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the year 2000. Like, for me, I think it's the best hip hop album of that year. You went out again.
Oh, yeah.
Did you press something?
Yeah, I pressed something that time. My camera lens was a little dirty.
Oh, okay. You look a little clearer, by the way, too. Cool.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, I mean, that was the modern era. I think that's one of the best albums of the 2000s, and it came out in the year 2000. I mean, I personally think it's better than The Blueprint. I think it's better than Stillmatic.
Maybe.
I think it's better than B. Oh no, it's not maybe better than Stillmatic. It's better than Stillmatic.
I mean, Mike, you're speaking like a fan, and objectively, there are records on Stillmatic and B that compete with Supreme Clientele. It's not like Supreme Clientele exists in the stratosphere that Stillmatic and B doesn't. That's not the case. It might in your world.
I think it's better than, and maybe it is in my world.
Like just like that's you and that people's instinctive travels again thing. It's like I keep telling you, it's like the problem with when you say it's a classic, it's like, yeah, but it's not even like on the same level as the Low End Theory or Midnight Marauders. It's not to me.
No, listen, with people's instinctive, I'll admit, I personally like that album. I like how outside the box it is, creatively. I like how colorful it is. I like the, just how experimental it is on the production end. I think the problem with people's instinctive for a lot of people is the fact that it's the album that it's a Tribe album, but it's not the Tribe that people know.
That's fair.
And I think if that group would have continued on that path, they would have had a nice career. But I think that changing the path really turned them into the iconic, trendsetters and pace setters that they became. I mean, the first album was how do I say this? De La Soul has taken up that space. But see, what Tribe was able to do, even from the jump, they had real hit songs. Not to say that Me, Myself, and I is not, which it is, but Bonita is an identity in a way where you can't really duplicate, sampling Knee Deep from Parliament Funkadelics. You can only do that one time. I think Me, Myself, and I was kind of a gift and a curse to De La, really. It was so big. And it really wasn't their identity either.
It was bigger than their personalities were at the time.
Yeah. And it's like they give you quality records. They're not giving you gimmicky records.
I don't think the intent on that was to be gimmicky.
No, I don't think so either.
Right.
It just happened that way. Kind of like El Segundo for Tribe. Like, Bonita kind of saved Tribe from, falling into that crevice. Because they could have fell into that whole, El Segundo lane, which was very Fresh Prince-esque.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it was a more quality record than, parents just don't understand. I mean, don't get it twisted, but it still was just the tip of the iceberg for what they could do. And that's how I feel about Me, Myself, and I. It was just the tip of the iceberg of what they could do.
Hey, Mike, I got some quick sidebar head talk I was thinking about right quick because I played some, a lot of 80s records came on my playlist this week. I heard a lot of Cool G Rap and Slick Rick this week, about as much as those two guys as I've heard in quite some time. Outside of Rakim's first two albums, which I think we both agree are the best mic performances by MC in the 80s, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, hands down. I thought you were going to say ever.
Right. But as far as the 80s is concerned, Mike, who has the best mic performance that an MC can lay claim to outside of Paid in Full and Follow the Leader? Best mic performance.
I'm gonna say The Great Adventures.
It is, Mike. I was listening to Slick Rick rap on that album. Mike, he's in a special zone as an MC on that album.
Zone moments, man. Like Ghost on Supreme Clientele, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until, because here's what happens when I play The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. I usually play it together. The records came separately when it was hitting my playlist, so it was hitting me differently. Like Mona Lisa came, you know what I'm saying? Then Children's Story came. Then The Moment I Feared came, and then Hey Young. I'm like, he's zone. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, special stuff. Yeah. I agree with you. So I would say
Pusha T Daytona, those are zone situations, man.
Actually,
I mean, I would go as far as to saying Rakim on Let the Rhythm Hit Him too.
Rhythm Hit Him? Well, that's 1990 though.
He was rapping very different.
But that's why I said 80s, because I think Let the Rhythm Hit Him's 90, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 90. I'm just saying in general, just naming some albums where people were in the zone. Because that's summertime Rakim.
Yeah. that's My Voice Is Truly an Instrument now, Rakim, right?
Yeah, he wrote Summertime. I don't care what anyone says. But anyway, what was your first reaction to hearing Pusha T's new single, Diet Coke? I guess we could say featuring Kanye West, but it was produced by Kanye West and 88 Keys. You saw the video?
Yeah. It's a really dope record. You know how I feel. It's on message, it's spot on.
It's spot on. It's on message. I think the only critique that I've heard from it or about it, negative, was Pusha T's talking coke again, But
I wasn't even about to say that. My only critique is that it's not If You Know, You Know, which is now cultural, like lexicon, like type of stuff that you say. And here's what I mean. So I got a homie, Andrew. He's from New York.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing outside Spark Steakhouse, Mike, and he's got the W up on his shoulder like this, but the caption says, "If you know, you know." Now you know what he's talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's referencing Jizz's Killer Hills 10304. Restaurants on the takeout chaos outside the Spark Steakhouse, because he got the W up. But in his caption, he's got "If you know, you know." That's how big "If you know" is. It's like pop culture lexicon, hashtag reference style of records. So
how often can you do that? Though?
Right. Yeah. So this record is not that. But outside of that, Mike,
does it make you excited for the new album?
I was inherently excited, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, he says album of the year. I believe that. If it's coming from him, and he said the Neptunes and Kanye did a bulk of it, at least last thing we heard. I don't want to turn this into a Kanye West conversation, but I am, because you know what? I think that, people have been very critical of Donda production-wise, and I think I've said this on this show before. I feel like when it comes to Kanye being able to make the hip-hop records that we want to hear, or the classic hip-hop, he can do that in his sleep. He's proving that again.
Oh, yeah.
He can do that in his sleep.
Oh, yeah.
When he goes out there making his own stuff, he's experimenting. And he's trying things. And when it comes to, I got to make this record for this person, let's get it. Let's get it done. because that right there sounded as fresh as you're gonna get.
Right.
I mean, same thing happened with Otis. Like we thought he was on some other shit sonically when it came to, you know, the sounds he was using and all that. It's like, you know what? Let me dial this back.
Okay, so let's just have an honesty and a clarity moment.
Mm-hmm.
I do not love his production on Watch the Throne. I don't love it. It's dope. It's not like, oh my God. It's not. The most memorable beat on there he didn't even make. Let's keep that in mind.
Right. The most memorable song on there, you talking about Niggas in Paris?
Yeah. Hello.
You know what? That's a production. I didn't really like the beat on that like that.
I said memorable.
Okay.
Most memorable beat
I
on
think
there.
the best. Well, all right. Some of my favorite production on there, and I think again, the production on Watch the Throne was experimental too, right? And I think a lot of the
like he's been experimenting for a long time. Then when are we going to get some?
I mean, whenever he wants to. I mean, like I said, whenever he wants to give you a Daytona, he gives you a Daytona.
Right.
This right here, whenever he wants to get you a Pusha T project and get it in the way that you want it or he wants it, he can do that.
We don't got time for that other shit.
I mean, look, I don't mind people experimenting. I don't. I like it actually.
I mean, no, that's cool.
But again, I come from the school of Outkast.
I'm going to need you to experiment to desirable results or comparable results for what your capabilities say that you can do. Like, because what really happens with you're saying, oh, well, I like the fact that he's experimenting. What you're saying is that this shit ain't that dope. Because if it was dope, we wouldn't be talking about the experimentation part of it that much now, would we?
I think there are some dope moments on Donda. I'm looking forward to hearing what Donda 2
There are dope
moments
on Donda. There are. No. There truly are. There are really dope moments on Donda. There are album of the year moments on Donda. But it's not anywhere close to being an album of the year contender for 2021.
Shout out to King He, sending a super chat of $1.99 says, can y'all check out Galvin and review her albums? Yeah. Send the link and we will check that out. Okay, listen.
Shoot us the info.
Yeah, shoot us the info. All right, this is the thing, man. Jamar says, let's not give Ye all the credit for this beat. It was 88 keys. Let's not do the Dre shit.
Shady.
Dr. Dre or Andre 3000? Whatever. Either way, same concept. Listen, I said 88 keys produced as well. But let's be real, man. Like, when Kanye's involved, Pusha T, Kanye, we know what to expect.
He's masterminding this, He's masterminding this. It feels like Pusha T and Ye, if you know what I mean. I'm sure 88 Keys contributed, or he might even like provided the drop or the bass line. I mean, like, I don't know, but you know, it feels like Kanye and Pusha back at it. No denying that.
And you know what? And that's why when it comes to talking about all-time producers in hip hop, I really give Kanye a lot of points. And I think that we take away a lot of points from him because he's an artist, you know, unintentionally, right? We start looking at the stuff in his personal archive. But when you look at a producer in hip hop who takes on an artist and gets the best out of them, it's not many people that we can name that do it to the level that Kanye does. He's gotten the best out of Pusha T. Will you agree with that?
In what regard are you saying, Mike? Because I told you, like, I felt the way that most people feel about Pusha T now, since Daytona, is the way that I felt since Hell Hath No Fury, which is produced by the Neptunes.
I love the Neptunes. You know, they're my favorite duo in the past 30 years on the production end.
Who made Grinding for them?
Of course.
Mr. Me Too.
But see, the thing is, though, Coop, Grinding as a song and as a beat is bigger than them. Whereas when we talk about having an identity, I think that Kanye West and Pusha T teaming up with Kanye West has made Pusha T an elite as an individual.
I think it's bought him elite attention. That's what I'm saying. Because the elite performance is there. And I bring up Grinding because here's what I remember about Grinding. I remember every MC more famous than them grabbing that beat and rocking with it over mixtapes and not sounding as dope as them on the record. And that was him. That was Malice and Pusha T before I even considered them to be all-time great. So I seen it early. Like I seen it's like, no. He still sound better on that beat than guys like Exhibit and Jay when they was rocking the beat. So it's been there.
It's their song, you know what I mean? So it's always going to be.
Nobody trying to hear that though, Mike, because you're talking about them being bigger than the song. I'm saying when bigger guys stepped on the song that had bigger stature, they didn't take the record and make it theirs. It still remained their record because they sounded the best on it. It's been there. Y'all are just taking notice because Ye's involved. That's my whole thing.
No, I've been a Clips fan, but let's be real though,
Mike.
You're telling me that there are songs on.
Yes. Keys Open Doors is better than what would Meek do. Yes. Yeah.
You're telling me his mic performance on Keys Open Doors.
Yes.
Is better than if you know.
Press one button, let the wind fall. Who gonna stop us? Fuck the cops.
I don't know, man. The games we play is tough.
Seeing my life through the windshields of choppers. I ain't spent one rap dollar in 3 years. Holla. Money's the least. Drag the bitch by a dog collar. Now ho follow. This is my ghetto story like champagne. It's the Don Dada. Open the Frigidaire. 25 to life in here. So much white you might think your holy Christ is near.
I love the album.
Better.
I love the album.
Cool.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying nah. Jamar says fact. Listen.
But that's what I'm saying. How many of y'all know all the bars to Hell Hath No Fury like me? How many of y'all know all the bars to Daytona? Y'all started paying attention when Ye came along. He was rhyming like that since Hell Hath No Fury.
I don't know, man. You know I'm a big Pusha T fan.
He's not putting in better mic performances on Daytona than he is on Hell Hath No Fury. It's just the album is put together better. The song structure, the sequencing, he's not better. He's just as good.
I don't know, man.
No Fury. No, Mike, I'm not.
Hard Piano is crazy, man. Never fall in love with a. I don't know, man.
Mike, a 4'11 Cuban helped us weather the storm. The truth always wins. Yeah, the truth always wins over just flexing on the mic. That's why I'm telling you, Hell Hath No Fury is his seminal. Mike, he'll tell you Hell Hath No Fury is his seminal performance because of the truth involved with it. He'll tell you that.
Maybe it's the songs that are better on Daytona. Maybe I'm sold on that part of it. But
the songs are put together.
And again, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it all the way real, because a lot of people are talking about Malice and Malice possibly being better than Push on Hell Hath No Fury, yada yada. Even with any of that being said, Daytona is just Pusha T. So it's a little different when you share an album as a Clips member and you get your elite status by being an individual.
I'm only going to quibble with you about that because here's what I'm about to submit to you. It's about the same number of bars out of him on the albums because one album is 7 songs long, the other one is 13. It's about the same number of bars, so it's not.
No, I feel you about the number of bars, but just holding down the individual songs yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like the games we play is, man, that's epic.
No, because. Well, can I tell you the truth? Hell Hath No Fury sounds more like his record than Malice's too. That's why I say it's one of his seminal performance. Like a lot of these records sound like records that he started that Malice got on. Like how we feel about some of those Big Boy Outkast records where it's like, man, Big Boy actually kicked that record off and that's his hook and that's him and that's going on Hell Hath No Fury. The intro song, the Wham Wham.
What it do?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people in the chat are saying they thought that Malice was better than Pusha. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
They're epic on there. They're epic on there.
On Lord Willin', I think Malice was clearly better than Pusha.
Malice is better on Lord Willin'.
Now, when it came to Hell Have No Fury, it was very balanced in that way.
Pusha's delivery had just gotten so sick. Like they were equal as lyricists, but Pusha's delivery had pushed them ahead, in my opinion.
Ain't Ya was my shit too, and not to mention,
Nightmares with Bilal. That's what I'm saying. Like
Nightmares is cool, yeah. I like Pusha T over. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, man. You know me. I love the Neptunes. I like Pusha T over Kanye's production better. I do.
Mike, I mean, To be honest with you, I think we just need more verified evidence because you're saying that off 7 records when we got like 30, 40 Neptune records to go off of. If
That's
not
not the
more.
only song that Kanye's made. I mean, those aren't the only songs that Kanye's made.
How many records they got together, Mike? About 15 maybe? Because Neptune's got about triple that. So, you know what I mean? It's like, if they had the same number of records together, would you say that? Because Neptunes have done some pretty epic stuff with him.
They have, straight up. I mean, the Neptunes are the Neptunes.
You can say the songs are better, but don't tell me the MC is better. The MC been spitting like this since Hell Hath No Fury. I'd like to thank you for showing up to something that all of us as heads knew a long time ago, before Kanye was involved.
Nah, Kanye's a beast.
But if you ahead, you know that he was like this before Ye got involved. That's why I don't lean on Daytona when I lean on him as MC. It's like, no. It's been like that for a long time. If you want to talk about the quality of the album, oh yeah, we can bring Ye into that. But if we talking about the MC, no. This guy's been all-time great for about 15, 16, 17 years now.
You know, it kind of, and I hate to compare it to this, right? But I think that the type of production that the Neptunes make, at least at that time, it was kind of limiting for an MC to a degree. And it was like when Lil Wayne was working with Manny Fresh all the time. It was going to take him to get away from Manny Fresh a little bit and start rhyming over some other things to get to that next level. And it's like, when you're rhyming over the Neptune stuff, it's always going to be the Neptune stuff, if that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't, because the beautiful thing about Hell Hath No Fury is that it doesn't sound like the Neptunes. Right.
Well, I don't know. I think it does. Maybe that's me as a fan. I mean,
Mike,
you know what I'm saying? Because I listen to all of that stuff heavy.
Mike, if you take Pharrell's vocals off some of those tracks, you don't tell... Mike, let's go back to Keys Open Doors. Don't tell me that you believe that's a Neptunes record if you didn't know who they were affiliated with. Stop that.
I could hear Keys Open Doors and...
Nightmares?
Yeah. Nightmares, definitely. Like the drums they were using.
Like, we got it for cheap intro?
Yeah.
Mike, you full of shit.
No, I'm serious, man. Like that. I mean, listen, I know the Neptune stuff, man. Like,
you think, Mike, okay, whatever. Yeah.
What, you don't think that stuff sounds like Neptune tracks?
Mike, let's go to Hell Hath No Fury.
Okay.
Show me the Neptune's tracks outside of Hell Hath No Fury that sound like anything on Hell Hath No Fury. Show them to me right now, live.
I'll get them back to you.
Yeah,
I'll get them back to you. Because I want to listen to everything side by side. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just spout off stuff because you're naming some tracks with different range. Now, as far as Nightmares go, like the stuff that they were making during that time, like the drums they were using, it did sound like some other, stuff that they had done. Now, granted, they got in their bag with that because that's probably one of the best rap albums, if not the best rap album that they produced from beginning to end. But again,
yes, it is. It's their best rap production.
But again, I'm a big fan of their Nerd production, album wise. When they put together full albums, I loved, obviously, In Search Of. That was one of my favorites. But the second album, that was my shit. I think
it's just the beats on Hell Hath No Fury is blowing those out the water. Just the beats.
Nah, man, I'm not gonna say that.
Like it's
Fly or Die, nah.
Assault with a deadly weapon.
Fly or Die was tough, man. Fly or Die was beautiful.
Mike, there's not a beat on any of those projects that's better than the 3 best beats on Hell. Like Wamp Wamp. Mike, you don't love Wamp Wamp?
I like Wamp Wamp.
Crazy, Mike. Come on.
I don't think I like it as much as you do.
Ride Around Shining? Mike, Ride Around Shining? We ain't even talked about Ride Around Shining.
I like Ride Around Shining. Like I said.
You keep talking about you like these records like these beats are just okay. These beats are not just okay.
Listen, man, I like them. I think I don't love them like you do.
This is them you understand, this is like Neptune's going like primo group home style beat wise. Like that's what they did on this project, except for the MCs are better. That's where they are like zone wise. They're where like primo is on group home living proof. That's where the Neptunes are beat wise on Hell Hath No Fury. You're just downplaying like, I like the nerd stuff. Nobody listens to that nerd stuff. People be playing Hell Hath No Fury.
I love the nerd stuff. Let me ask the people in the room. Y'all play Hell Hath No Fury like that?
Well, nobody want to hear that nerd stuff, Mike. When we talk about the Neptunes, nobody be talking about no nerd albums.
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. I love the clips. I can't tell you the last time I went back and listened to Hell Hath No Fury, but I will today.
I keep telling you, it's the best rap album nobody ever talks about. I don't understand why.
I think it's probably because it's one of your favorites.
No,
Because
it's just
I
there.
feel like that about a couple of albums.
It's not missing anything, though, Mike. It's not missing anything.
I think it might be one of your personal favorites. You think it's a classic. You're ranking it 5 out of 5.
Mike, there's literally nothing wrong with the album. What do you want? You want high-level MCing, flows, delivery, vocal patterns. You want hit records. You want street records. You want dope beats. You want great engineering. You want production. You want guest appearances. What do you want out of a great album? It has all the components of a classic album. And every time we have this conversation, nobody can give me anything about it that says that it's not, because it is. Tell me about what about this album is not all-time great.
You know what? Nightmares and Allure do sound similar production style-wise. Allure from Jay.
What year is Allure?
Allure's 03. So,
3-year gap. Allure. No.
We do have to also factor in
Allure's a better beat, actually, if we're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But again, man, and kind of like what Kanye was saying when he was talking about Jay, like, I ain't really want the introspective Jay or whatever, like, when I hear Neptune tracks, I'm more of a fan of what they do other than stuff like Allure. Like I wasn't a really huge fan of Allure like that production wise.
That's what you're saying.
Give me the La La La. I'll take La La La.
Right, you want that happy Neptunes, but what I'm saying is that this production job is a tougher pull for them, and the fact that they pulled it off so masterfully is why the album sounds so beautiful, because it is the Neptunes. You're like, Neptune's doing gritty street beats, like Ride Around Shining and Keys Open Doors, instead of records like Beautiful and La La La. That's my point, Mike. The records don't sound like that. They sound great hip-hop primo style records. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Neptune's going primo. You're never going to get that out of them again, because you're never going to get them around guys talking like that they're going to back like that, talking that way. It's because, you know.
Well, listen, man, the Neptunes are my favorite collective for a reason. I mean, their versatility is off the charts, and they could do whatever the assignment calls us for. But when it comes to production that fits in the vein of what Pusha T does, I'm more of a fan of the combination of Kanye with him than them. Because even with him saying that Kanye's doing a majority of it, or Neptunes, it's just them two, I would rather it just be Kanye. I mean, I'm not really looking forward to, I hate to say it like that, but yeah, if I had to choose, I'd rather Kanye take on the whole album as opposed to it being a half thing when it comes to Pusha T.
Hey, Mike, I just hold closer to me the things that are harder to put your hands on again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that even when I hear this record, the Diet Coke, I can reference, if you know immediately, style-wise, aesthetic, I can see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other reference point, production-wise, from the Neptunes about Hell Hath No Fury. That's part of what makes it so special. It's a one-of-one production job out of them. You're not getting that production job out of them again. You can get this production job from Kanye and Push every 2 or 3 years. So there's proof to that. That's why I'm saying it's like I don't hold that as special. I hold what I know I'm never going to hear again special, because guess what, Mike? Hell Hath No Fury came out in November of 2006. Those guys haven't made a beats like that since. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody in the chat says I'm bugging. So, maybe I'm bugging. I'm going to go back and listen to Hell Have No Fury today. And again, I'm a super fan of all parties involved. I'm a Chad and Pharrell fan. I'm a Malice and Pusha fan. And I had the album. I bought both their first 2 albums.
Mike,
did I have To the Casket Drops too? I think I might have. I was listening to it. Shit.
So the Casket Drops is a borderline classic, Mike. But here's what I'll say. Here's what I remember about Hell Hath No Fury. I remember Jay having a record out around the same time, and I thought it was whack compared to this album.
That was Kingdom Come.
Mike, I remember Nas having an album out around this time. Compared to this album, I thought that album was whack. You want to know why? Because it was. That's that Hip Hop Is Dead shit that he had dropped. Remember that?
Chinese New Year's hard. Nah,
Chinese New Year's is different. I'm at your door. Your eyes are like,
now that shit is hard.
Right.
That Neptune beats crazy, man.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
Mike. The only person Jeezy's album came out, I was like, this ain't holding up next to this Clips album. The only person that released the album around the time that was even remotely close to it was The Game with Doctor's Advocate.
What about T.I. with King? That was 06, right?
That's 05, wasn't it?
Nah, that was 06.
Okay. That was, T.I. had that early part of that. T.I. had the early part of that year in the summer on lock. That's what I'm saying. Hell Hath No Fury dropped November of 06. Like end of the year going into 07. And so some of T.I., like if I'm not mistaken, Why You Wanna was starting to fade off the radio when the Clips album dropped. So you feel me? So T.I.'s kind of buzz was start. So I wasn't considering him in that. I was looking at the guys that had dropped albums right around that same time. I'm like, nah, shit trash compared to this. Jay shit trash compared to this. Jeezy shit trash compared to this. Game, I'm the only one close to this and still not fucking with this. It was like that.
You know what? That missed to me too, though. Production-wise, that shit was hard.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. You know, like I said, man, I like the Re-Up Gang, all that. You know what I'm saying? The Cry Now, so...
The full-length cat when I wave the kitty purrs. All my niggas caked up, selling gray and beige dust. Had that money right end up in the trunk taped up.
You know what? You're right.
We
You're
only
right.
race for bucks. Peel money folds till our thumbs get the paper cuts. Mike, that's 06.
Yeah,
that's what
you're
I'm
right.
saying.
And he sounds like the same rapper.
That's the same rapper
That's
in
the
06.
same rapper.
Right,
Yeah.
That's the same guy rapping on Mr. Me Too that's rapping on If You Know, You Know. Don't tell me that guy's better because Ye's here. That's all. Just don't tell me he's better because Ye's here. He was all-time great then.
Daytona Special.
Yeah, Daytona Special.
Daytona is special. His mic performance on there, he was in a zone. But again, Pusha's so consistent.
Yeah, he's been in a zone.
It's tough to decipher.
Right, Mike.
Yeah.
He's in a zone until the casket drops. He's in a zone on his first solo project, King Push. Like lyrically, like he gets in zones relatively easily. That's why I have him so high.
I was gonna say, with all that being said, where do you have Pusha T all time? I know we've spoken on this before, and maybe this is a conversation for after his album drops. But I want to ask the people in the room, where is Pusha T all time? Is he top 15?
If you think Jada Kiss is better, let's pull out the solo material.
Go for it, Coop.
Bars, you feel me? And I love Kiss, but when I tell you that it's like the A-list MC, what up?
No, go ahead.
No, when I say the A-list MC, like kind of like ends, like kind of at that Jada Kiss Pusha T line. This is why, because that's where he is. Like you should be talking about Push as an MC the way we're talking about Kiss, because he actually does everything Kiss does, and he has more classic material to show for it from his group and as a solo artist. So even if you don't think bar for bar he's better than Kiss, well, he's right there, and he's got the catalog on his side. What say you? Because
I personally would put him over Kiss.
Right.
And I know a lot of people are probably gonna say, "Yo, I'm tripping" or whatever, but
what Locke's album sounds like Hell Hath No Fury, and what Kiss solo album sounds like Daytona. Well, NSYNC, because they're comparable MCs.
I would say this though. Jada's more versatile, content-wise. If there's any knock on Pusha T, it's gonna be content. And Jada's been able to do it all. One thing about Jada, he sounds great on everything. I could say the same thing for Pusha. I think the Clips have a better catalog as a unit than the Locks do. I think on a solo effort, solo mission, solo career, Pusha T has more impressive solo catalog than Jada. But Jada has the features.
Jada has the features over everybody, Mike, except for like Nas, Jay, Biggie.
People saying Pusha T is top 40. 40. See someone saying Jadakiss is way better.
What Diet Coke are you in?
Anthony says, We Are the Streets is a classic. The Black Line says, Pusha Smoke. Shit.
Better than Hell Hath No Fury, though. It's not. And you know it. I love We Are the Streets.
DeCarlo asks, Mike, is grinding better than We Gon' Make It?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Kay Thompson says Pusha is right behind Rick Ross in my ranking. It's interesting though when you talk about somebody like Jadakiss. Is it
Okay.
fair to put Jadakiss over Rick Ross?
Hell yeah, because he's somewhere else lyrically
Okay.
on his regular days that Ross isn't on his best days, and you know how I feel about Ross.
Um, DJ
And
Bruce Almighty says, Mike, Eminem has a better catalog than Jada too. Had to get to you. Had to get at you. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about it in a second because we are going to talk about Eminem briefly. He is in the Super Bowl performance. The Black Line said something. He said Pusha T has everything over Jadakiss. And even if we talk about the battle part, what Pusha T did to the biggest pop star in hip hop is noteworthy.
Right.
Because not everybody is willing to jump out there like that.
Right.
He did it with ease. And not to mention he's been poking at Wayne for 10 years.
No. We gonna give Kiss his props on that too. Kiss stepped to 50 when 50 was the biggest guy in the game and did the same thing. True. Checkmate is a great diss record.
It is.
And he went, he lost to Siegel, but he went at it with Siegel, so he's battle tested, and he done slick dissed and taking shots at a lot of dudes. So it's like Kiss don't mind. Neither one of these dudes mind getting it on. It's very comparable. If you want to talk from a traditional lyrical bar standpoint, here's what it is. Jadakiss is more Nas lyrically, and Pusha T is more Big lyrically. And so lyrically, you might lean Kiss's way, but after that, the catalog, like the lyricism and the guest appearances, we're going to put in Kiss's favor, I would say. But after that, everything kind of slides to Push's favor, which is what Nas's issue was early on with Big. It was like, yeah, he's a better lyricist, and he's more of the traditional bar for bar guy, but it's like Big's got the voice.
Taffy says, bruh, Pusha T smoked Jada on hunting season.
He didn't smoke him on hunting season. He didn't smoke him.
Nas the GOAT says Kiss is way better than Pusha. Sounds like we're back and forth on this one.
No, because it's comparable, Mike. I started off by saying it was comparable. All the people trying to make it seem like it's not are missing the point.
Listen, I'll tell you what's not comparable.
I'm cool with this being like, this would be like, how about this? And we're going to talk about this because of how they've been doing. Mike, do you remember when I was putting Kendrick in the top 10 who I was sliding out? Jadakiss and Pusha T. About his catalog, but what's happened in the last 3-4 years with those guys? Because here's the thing about it: Ignatius is one of Kiss's best projects, Mike. That's one of his 3 best projects to me.
That's interesting. Yeah. I was gonna say
in Daytona,
Siegel beat Jada in the battle.
Siegel beat Jada though.
Okay.
But
that happened.
But I'm cool with these.
And Siegel's special too.
Siegel all-time special. Like, how about this, Mike? If Siegel career goes the way it's supposed to go, I got him ahead of Pusha T and Jay. But that's neither here nor there. I'm cool with these guys being right about 9 or 10 on my list. Like, they're somewhere like in that Redman, Kendrick. You want to put Ross right there. Like,
Taz Angel says, did you compare Pusha to Big? Explain.
Yes, I said if we're looking at things, I said Jadakiss is more the traditional lyrical bar MC like Nas is. Pusha is more like Big in terms of his lyrical performances, meaning it encompasses a lot of things, a lot of double entendres, a lot of wittiness and cleverness, not traditional bar pattern and rhyme style and punchline. So I know exactly what I was saying when I was saying it. Pusha T references Big on tracks for that reason, because that's the guy that he sees himself most like delivery and flow and style wise.
What do you say to people who say that Pusha T only raps about coke?
I say that he's obviously been noticing that because he said this album isn't going to contain those references and material. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to tell you something else too. Remember I was saying, like, I heard a lot of Cool G rap this week. Oh, Jay and Pusha T are never going to be as gritty or as raunchy or as unsellable as Cool G rap.
Well,
never. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when people are saying like he the only rap, go listen to Cool G rap.
Well, I mean, you know, he's the godfather of a lot of that, and a lot of things derive from him.
Like you want to hear how it really sound raw and uncut. Like you think you're getting it raw and uncut. These guys are diversifying. Like I told you, it's like spinning off the family tree. Oh, if you go to the root of the family tree, Mike, and you go listen to that guy, oh, you see these guys are way more diversified than you might realize if you go to the root of the tree. Because I mean, like I heard a song Cool G rap the other day that, quite frankly, like I'm never gonna let my daughter hear. You feel me? Like ever for any reason.
Well, I'm interested to see what this album is going to be because, I mean, if he's going to diversify his content in that way, I mean, I don't know. We're just going to have to see. I mean, I could see, I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but at the end of the day, the White House is financing crack pipes, right? And it's interesting that...
I knew you were going to say something. I knew you were going to say something.
It's interesting that, you know, when we have Republicans in office, you know, hip hop is very political. But when Democrats are in office, nobody's political. So it's wild to me that, you know, stuff like this is going on and we don't get any content from it. Just a couple of years ago, everybody was socio-political and it just went away. And so there's a lot of things to actually talk about, you know, from a political standpoint if people want to go there. But it seems like that's not the climate right now. I don't know. Maybe Kendrick Lamar, when he finally comes out, he might address it. Who knows? But,
You're being shady again.
I mean, you know, maybe when he comes out, he'll address it. He actually did put out a political album during a Democratic, you know, administration. But
you consider To Pimp a Butterfly to be
I think the cover was very out there. But that was before he shook the man's hand, so you know.
Right. So
after he did that, and all that kind of went out the window.
Right, but the preface is that before that it was a statement and a sentiment trying to be expressed and made, and so I don't think that was it per se.
You know, maybe that's why when it comes to the black hippies, maybe that's why Ab-Soul's always been my favorite.
Hey, Mike, it gets dangerous.
I love his approach.
Right, when art starts imitating life and you got to start dealing with the powers that be, dealing with your stuff, it kind of changes the message, you know?
Yeah, the real Leonard Washington says, very interesting, Mike. They pick and choose when they want to speak against the madness. Yeah, it's and Harry H says, Mike, come on, the misinformation, bro. We get it. You hate the Dems. It's a lot of us do. But they're spending money on crack pipes. It's not accurate. They actually are. But I'm not just making that up. You can Google that, and it's other paraphernalia too. It's to make crack use safe. That's what they're doing that for.
Hold on. I want to say this right quick. Mike doesn't hate the Dems. You're just not used to black people holding factions that we vote in accountable consistently. I don't have these issues because I'm independent, because I understand that both sides suck and aren't doing anything for our people or for our culture inherently. So let's not just generalize Mike and say that he hates the Dems. Mike hates everybody the same. He hates the Dems. He hates the Republicans. He hates Eminem.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Right, equal opportunity hate going on.
I hate people who hate us.
Right.
How about that? Right. Shout out to Darnell Lee with the super chat. He says, Pusha T can go bar for bar with any MC. People don't know Pusha's catalog. Ross' catalog is better than Jada. Jada raps better.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's everything in a nutshell.
All those things. Yeah,
but again, I think that with Pusha saying that he's going to do some different things lyrically, and I said all of those things to say, there is room to talk about what you talk about on a different level, too. And he's smart enough to do that. He's lyrically inclined enough to do that. Again, all this stuff is out there. And I'm pretty sure the guy that produces him a lot, who talks about all of these things, they have conversations about some of the stuff that we were just talking about. So.
Absolutely, Mike. Do you remember the song Freedom, the start off to Till the Casket Drops?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Sunshine with Jill Scott? Like, every time he goes off message, it's not received as well, even if he performs as well. And so what I'm concerned with is that about him branching off into different subject matters, if it's not executed on a 10 or a 10, it's going to hurt his album of the year status potential.
Yeah.
Right. Because even when he pulls it off well, he doesn't get just due for it. Like Mike, that verse on Freedom that starts till the casket drop is one of the best verses of his career, and nobody talks about it.
I have no problem with him going out there taking a chance, obviously, and I guess that brings our conversation right back around. I like when musicians take risks and go for it, even if it doesn't turn out perfect. But I get what you're saying too.
Since something dope turned out, Mike, it's not experimenting anymore. You're struggling to make a dope product as a solo artist. It's not 10 years. Mike, think about this. Did it take Stevie Wonder 10 years to experiment to give us a dope product? Michael Jackson, Prince, anybody?
Well, I mean,
Janet Jackson. Mike, you want to step outside this genre? It don't take 10 years to experiment and make dope shit. It's just like you're not making dope shit. Make some dope shit.
In your opinion. And I love Stevie. We share a birthday as well, right?
Dope shit for other people, but for some reason, when it comes to your project, you want to reduce the engineer to a form of indentured servitude and slavery with how you're putting these tracks together. Is
it possible that Kanye's bored with hip hop? Because he's shown us time after time. He can give us a college dropout, late registration. He can give us a graduation. He can give us a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Now, if you want to be perfectly, fair about this, that is his prime run, right? So talking about now is like talking about anything Stevie after Hotter Than July. Is it not? Is that not fair?
Okay, so if we're doing it under that framework, let's just say that. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, he's done the prime work. It's not like the prime work doesn't exist.
No, the prime work exists.
Yeah.
But when you're acting like there's prime work going on, when we haven't seen any prime work in over a decade.
Now, I think he's lost. I think he's experimented enough to the point where he has tricked himself.
Like, sit down and engineer the track. How about that? Can we finish the track? When it's your track, let's finish the track.
I'm with Diesel. He said Kanye is a producer first. And his
The
work with Pusha T shows that.
Right. The way you're going and finishing Pusha T's tracks.
Yeah.
Would you like to go finish your tracks maybe that way? Because you haven't in about, over a decade. When did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy come out, Mike?
That was 2010. It's been 12 years.
What year are we in?
12 years, man. 2022.
That was the last time he made a great digestible solo product.
I mean, that's damn near about the last time that Kendrick Lamar made any product.
Mike, we talk about real talk. We talked about Nas not making dope shit and having a gap. We talked about Kendrick. I bought up Rakim's 5-year layoff. Like, I bought up that gap when, you didn't see Kane Cool G rapper KRS-One, really. Like, he ain't made a dope album in over a decade.
Well, people would say Watch the Throne.
I'm going to say it again slowly for the people in the back that didn't hear me. He hasn't made a dope album in over a decade because that album doesn't classify as that shit either.
Let me ask the people in the room. Is Watch the Throne a classic? Or is it not? Let me go to Darnell Lee's comment
5 dope songs does not make an album a classic. I'm going to say that again.
Hold on. Darnell Lee has a question. He says, Coop and Mike, is trap music dead? These trap rappers spit the same content, yet the chat is quiet. Yet these chats quiet. Hold on. What did he say? Hold on. My bad, Darnell Lee. I'm butchering your comment. Yet these chats quiet about that, but they don't cry about Pusha's content. Okay, I see what he's saying. They're quiet about the fact that trap rappers don't talk about anything but drug use, but when Pusha talks about it, it's a problem. I think a lot of this stuff with Pusha T is the fact that a lot of Drake fans want to find a reason to discredit what he does, because there's no other way you can discredit it. You can't say he can't rhyme. You can't say that your favorite rapper didn't get blown out.
Yeah. No, Mike, but you want to know what? Actually, it's kind of funny. So here's what's going on with Pusha in terms of the rhetoric that's not going on with a lot of those other rappers. And listen to what I'm about to say, and I'm not being funny when I say this. Pusha T enunciates and speaks very clearly with clarity all the time, so you're getting all the dope boy drug references clearly, with clarity, these trap rappers don't be doing that. Right. And that's what I mean about the truth when guys be talking in general versus the guy talking specifically in terms of what I like to listen to, what I believe. Because he's right. Because it's like, yeah, all those trap rappers you talking about, it's like, that's cool. Or the drill rappers and all that. It's like, yeah, but I don't be believing most of those guys either because they're not speaking with the clarity and with the vividness that this guy is. And there's not the reality surrounding some of these guys. Like a lot of these guys are talking about stuff that they did, like, you know what I'm saying, for 2 years.
Well, all right. I think this is what it is, though, Coop. Not to interrupt you, though. I think it's a generational thing, right? I think that certain generation of hip hop listeners
sound God about niggas getting locked up around them. That's not regular stuff. That's when the stuff really going on. It's like, no.
I think it's just generation that doesn't really relate to that type of rap in a way that a lot of people who grew up in the 90s do.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
Did it, so the guys that really did it don't have any credibility, but the guys who didn't do. Right.
I mean, look at who their favorite rappers are in this era. They're not about that kind of content. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the Kendrick Cole's, and say somebody grew up in the Kendrick Cole Drake era, and that's the content that they know to be GOAT level, you know, in hip hop rhyming wise, right? They don't want to hear that over and over, or at least their ear isn't at the point where they consider that to be superior, if that makes any sense. No, so I think it's more of a generational thing.
But some of it is just about if you're talented or not. I'm about to reference two guys who are on the same song together, who are from the same borough. Mike, when you hear Jay and when you hear Big, oh, you can tell Jay been on some hustling shit and seen some things Big ain't seen in the street, okay? You can tell. But Big is talented enough that on record, even though you know he hasn't been the guy out in the streets that Jay has been, well, it's comparable because the skill is there. And like what I'm just trying to say, that some of these dudes just not as talented as Push. Like, they're just not as talented for this to even be a conversation. So part of the critique comes because he's the only guy operating at that high level of emceeing with it. So it's not just Drake fans. It's about the level that he's operating at. Because, Mike, he's operating in Jay's space. He's operating in Cool G Rap space.
Yeah.
Listen to what I just said. It's a big difference to when Cool G Rap operated in the space and guys like Russell Simmons is like, well, Cool G Rap don't sell no record, so I'm not signing Nas because he sound like Cool G Rap, versus what Jay did with it. Push is coming in an era where Jay did something with it where it's on a certain level that it wasn't before, so he's the guy, and so he's going to get criticized.
Do you think Pusha T, if he were on this type of run in the 90s, would be elite in the 90s? With everything that was going on?
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yes. Mike, yeah. I mean, Grinding came out in what, 99, 2000?
Nah, that was 2001.
2001?
2002, actually. Yeah, Lord Willing was 2002.
So, yeah, on the heel.
Sicko Rodriguez said, y'all saw Andre 3000 in a Squarespace commercial? I did not. And on that note, let's talk about this new Snoop.
What?
And Nas.
What? No. What? He did a what? He did a Squarespace commercial?
Is that real? Let me look on my phone real quick.
Better not be real.
You're not trolling us, are you, Rodriguez?
You need to stop playing.
Let's see. Andre 3000. Because I got a few questions if that's the truth.
I want to know where I want to know what the features are on Big Boy's album if you're out here doing commercials. That's what I want to know. I don't want to know about the other shit.
Yeah, I think this is true. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And when I Googled it, yeah, and this is a new commercial. Where we at? Yeah, there he is. Huh.
So he got time to do commercial ads? But he ended up on Big Boy album?
I guess so. I mean, he's a free man. He can do whatever he wants to do.
Next, Mike.
All right. You hear about this new Snoop and Nas song that's coming out, I think, on the 13th. The 13th is the actual day of the Super Bowl, right?
Is that an actual Snoop album with Nas being one of the features on the album? Because that's how I felt like I read it, because I only read it fast when you sent it to me.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
That's a Snoop Dogg album.
Seems like it. Yeah,
And Nas
actually,
is gonna
let
be
me.
on.
And if anybody in the chat can correct us because we're just now getting this news too. Well, first of all, I want to ask you what you thought about the Tomorrow joint with him and John Legend, with Nas and John Legend.
I want to be careful about how I phrase this. It's, Mike, when you're in the zone, you can run in and do it and then run back out. And you got to be like a real listener to hear that you just ran in and ran back out. That's one of those records. He sent that in and sent that back out. It's a solid record. It's not organically strong. And it feels.
He still sounds good on there, to me.
He sounds great on there, Mike. But here's what I'm saying. You can almost tell that he started writing the first verse, was pressed for time, freestyled most of the second verse, and was like, nah, but I'm in my zone right now, so that still sounds great. I'm out. And quite frankly, it's one of those records that it's like, oh, was Common busy? And so you called Common was busy.
That sounds like something I would say.
And
I agree wholeheartedly.
And I don't appreciate you all thinking that when Common's not available, that Nas is the guy that you're supposed to call. You just shut the record down.
Like Common was on set today, so we needed needed a couple quick bars. You're in the zone right now, Nas. Come through.
But it's solid, Mike. But when you're pulling up like his guest appearances rap sheet, this is going to be one of those records that falls on the bottom half and not on the top half, even though it's a pretty dope performance from him. But it's just that.
Donnell Lee says, you guys think Big Boy didn't want him on the album so that it could be about him shining? No, I doubt that. I think Andre just didn't want to be on Big Boy's album. I mean, there's no other reason to think anything else. I don't know.
Mike, and they're cool. He's going to his son's football
game. Of course they're cool.
Oregon.
Now, all jokes aside, let me say this. I want to clarify for people who might think that I mean something else. I think that Andre's thing with Big Boy and jumping on records with Big Boy is the fact that
pressure.
It's a pressure. It's pressure.
That's why I want him to do the verse.
No, it's an Outcast pressure. So when he gets on songs with Big Boy, then they have to stand up to their catalog and what they've done, all the greatness that they put forth. And there's pressure there when it comes to him and Big Boy being on the track together. No. Because whether it's labeled an Outkast track or not, whether it's a Big Boy track featuring Andre, it's an Outkast track if both of them are on it. And there's a pressure added there. And I think that's his issue with working with Big Boy. I don't think it's anything personal, like you said. They're friends. But when they jump on the record together, if it's really good, then people are going to want an Outkast album. If it's really bad, then you guys fell off. So he stands clear from it altogether.
And I don't like that at all. Because that ain't
what it is.
No, it's not what it is. Let me tell you what it is.
That's what it is.
It's not what it is. It's not what it is. Let me tell you what this is. That pressure is self-inflicted mostly by you about the fact that you didn't want to record with your partner and rhyme anymore. So I don't want to hear any of that. Like, the pressure is there because of the brevity of catalog. Now, why is there a brevity of catalog, Mike? There's a brevity of catalog mostly about one person not recording regularly, being willing to record, falling in and out of rap, love. Who would that belong to? So all this pressure that he doesn't want to deal with, that's self-inflicted, and we're done feeling sorry for you. Make the goddamn record.
I want to address something that Diesel said in the chat. He says,
I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, just make the record and stop giving me all these bullshit ass excuses. That ain't how it roll where you from, where I'm from. That's not how rap works. That's not how this works. You're not oblivious or above the spear of this culture. You don't get to rift in here when you feel like it. How about that?
I'll respond to that, but I want to see. I want to acknowledge something that Diesel said real quick.
We got people in here that fight with me and you about how great this man is, and we can't get him to get a verse on a Big Boy album. Trash.
I want to address something that Diesel said. Diesel said Outkast legally can't do songs together. I want to know where you heard that from, and how does that even make sense? So Jive signed Outkast, or they didn't sign Outkast. They inherited Outkast from when they bought out LaFace and Arista, or that partnership, or however that worked. So they they have the rights to Outkast and they don't want to make any money off of Outkast, I don't understand how that works.
Do the verse.
I don't understand how that works. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I don't know if these are rumors or rumors that gotten out of control. I just don't understand the logic in a label legally not allowing members of that group to do music together. I don't understand that. But they were able to actually do the tour when they did the 25th anniversary of everything. I don't think that they're legally prohibited from doing records together. I think that's more of an Andre thing, in my personal opinion. Again, I don't have any inside information on that. I just have never seen an institution sign not a great artist, but a great act that just sold 10 million just so they just don't put anything out when the public clearly wants something from them. That I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. But I could be wrong.
Look at how you've talked about Kendrick not recording or doing material the last 5 years. His legacy is nothing like their legacy. Think about how long we've been talking about, like Mike, you understand that they were talking about this guy struggling to record and wanting to do material immediately after a Clement. Like, that's in the 90s. I'm so sick of hearing this fucking shit. You rapper, you don't, my dude. You rapper, you don't.
I mean, I think Andre's clearly...
You rapper, you don't.
Andre's clearly made his decision.
If you don't, no. Come out and say that you don't so we can stop all this. Because it's almost like you getting off on it now. That's why it's like it's starting to make me feel a certain type of way about it as somebody that loves him and was inspired by him to see the way that he's handling and carrying it. It's like, no, fam, you don't got it like that. We don't even know if you can make The World Is Yours. We don't know if you can make Juicy. We don't know if you can make Dead Presidents. We don't know. So stop acting like you're one of those guys. You're another rapper, and you're another rapper who don't like to rap. So who are you? Because it's been years since we heard you rap regularly.
And you know what? That's his right. But I think that the problem
and
is
it's my right
when...
to point out the fact that you don't deserve all this notoriety
there
for
it
not
is.
rapping and shit.
As an individual, yes. And that's correct. I've given
you
up...
like to rap, that's fine. Go over there and don't rap and stay away from the spear. Go sing again. Go be an R&B artist. Go be an actor. Go in a subway and play the guitar and not get posted on social media about it. As a matter of fact, when you get posted on social media about it, make sure it gets taken down because you don't want your craft to be disturbed or interfered with. What the fuck ever?
You know, I think that for me, I wish that he would have given...
I wish you keep the shit 100.
Exactly. Give the audience and your fans and the fans who are holding out on hope some closure about the situation and allow Big Boy to go on with his solo career without having to go to press and continuously answering questions about Outkast. Do what Tribe did when it was over. Say, you know what? This is our last album. This is what we're going to all do our own individual things. If you want to go play the flute, do your thing. Big Boy's going to go out here and do his solo stuff. And y'all don't have to ask him every time that he's talking about his music, where's Drake? When's the last time you talked to Drake? Because, you know what I'm saying, when Destiny Child did their final run, so everybody could go off and do their thing. Tribe did their final run, so everybody can go off and do their thing. I think my biggest problem is the fact that you knew it was over, like you said. You knew you didn't want to rap again.
It's like 99, 2000.
Yeah, you knew this. So if you know what, it's like you and I doing a podcast, right? And so I know that I have no intentions of doing another episode, but I won't say it. I won't tell the followers what that, you know what I'm saying, that's what it is.
Imagine our following for like 5 or 6 years after like our peak. And we keep on saying, like, hey, we might go on live on Wednesday.
And then Coop's out here going live by himself, and people like, yo, what's up with Mike? And he can't even get his own live going because people asking about me and some shit. Like, come on, man.
Like, this shit crazy. Like, just say it's a rap. Like, we appreciate it and respect it. Or say like, because all this, like, all these riffs of "I'm not inspired" has turned into 2 decades worth of those riffs. You do understand that? That's why I'm saying this. This isn't like these things that he says in these like obscure blurbs and these obscure pop-ups, these obscure like this been going on for 2 decades now, Mike. This been going on longer than their musical peak has been going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is.
Peak was 1994 to 2000.
And you know, and again,
he's been living off the myth and the legend of 6 years worth of recording material in a group for over 2 decades. Do you rap or not?
No. I mean, I think the actions have told you that.
Right. So if you don't want to be held as a rapper, if you don't like rapping, why we keep talking about your ass rapping and shit? Right.
I agree.
Because you keep doing things that put yourself in the sphere to get that kind of attention, and I'm starting to take issue with it. Like, you want the attention, but you don't want that work and that weight and that pressure. Well, you shouldn't have rhymed your ass off for 6 years. You shouldn't have disappeared from rhyming for virtually 2 decades with obscure performances. You have nobody but yourself to blame. Now, either get on these fucking tracks and rap or disappear.
So, you know what? I guess Coop didn't like Andre being on the Squarespace commercial.
No, I don't.
I'm going to title this video, Coop Reacts to Andre 3000 Squarespace Commercial.
Niggas be acting like they didn't get these commercials and all of this off of rapping, Mike. That's why. Why is he getting an ad in 2020 for anything when he hasn't rapped regularly in 2 decades and we can't get a verse from you on Big Boy's album? No, flag on the flag.
I don't like that either. I agree. I agree. I don't like the fact that
ejection.
I don't like the fact that he can give anybody in the world a feature except for Big Boy. Seems like I don't like that.
Oh, I don't want to deal with the pressure. Oh, did you take the check from that commercial that you probably got because you're one half of Outkast who hasn't made a fucking album in over 2 decades? Because you don't have no solo material. But you took that ad. We can't get a Big Boy. Whew.
All right, so we were just about to talk about the Snoop and Nas collaboration.
Man.
You know, so Snoop has an album coming up called Back on Death Row, and we heard a little clip of the Nas record. Once again, Nas sounds great. Snoop sounds great on it.
Sound great.
I love to hear these combinations that we've never heard before. That we've always wanted to hear.
No, they have a song together on Hip Hop Is Dead, and it does not sound good.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds 50 times better than that.
Yeah. I forgot all about that when you're right.
Right. Player.
It's all about the intensity and where it's at. And right now is the time for people to work with Nas, because Nas sounds great. I mean,
you know what? You know what's funny? Nas came out in 1994, Mike. You know who else came out in 1994?
Biggie. Yeah.
He did too. There's this group from Atlanta, Georgia, Mike. They came out in 1994 too. Yeah.
Cool. Listen, we're never gonna get another Outkast album. 15 years ago, I came to grips with that.
No. Hashtag I want solo records, nigga.
Well,
I want records now. You get commercials. I want records.
We're not gonna get any rap albums from Andre 3000.
Where the records at?
You're not gonna get any.
Where the records at? I don't want to see no commercials then.
You know what? I've always wondered this because Andre's clearly a perfectionist. I'm sure he's put together solo records with 3 verses, and they just didn't come out how he wanted them to come out. So, I don't know. Can he do it? I'm just gonna have to say no at this point because he hasn't.
This is what I'm saying. So when he does that verse, on the Donda album, okay, people think he's a better MC than Tupac as an MC. No, you're not. You can't write "Dear Mama." We don't know if you can.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
It is fair.
That's not fair.
No,
he expressed what he wanted to express.
It's the same subject matter.
It's different. It's different.
That
one's different.
Subject matter is the subject matter of the mothers.
I'm gonna stand up for Andre on that one. Like you
Anybody
can't.
standing up because no, y'all was making it seem like that verse slap. It's like, is it Dear Mama level?
I think it hit people who are going through that at a different level. You know what I'm
No, is it
saying?
no? Is it Dear Mama level? Because people talk about Andre and say he's a better MC than Tupac. And what I'm trying to say is that Tupac knows how to put together whole songs that encapsulates feelings that you put in verses when you feel like it.
I think Tupac stands alone when it comes to his songwriting ability. And I've said before that I think that Andre's probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest songwriters in hip hop, but I may stand corrected on that.
Who is?
Andre, when it comes to
what songs?
I'm talking about She Lives in My Lap and stuff like that, you know, him being a songwriter. But see, I think
even with that, Mike, we don't have enough material to even lay credence to even that on the songwriting level. What?
Yeah.
Where's the evidence, Mike?
Once because again, the thing is, when you talk about being a great songwriter, you got to write for other people too.
Where's the evidence? Yeah. Like, there's been a murder. That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't have no evidence to, like for.
Well,
like,
he wrote "Millionaire" for Khalees. He wrote "Bubble Pop Electric" for Gwen Stefani.
I don't love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love "Millionaire." Millionaires is shit.
Yeah, Millionaires though.
There are rats. Wherever there are rats, there are cats.
But he wrote the whole song, I believe. I could be wrong because Khalees is a writer as well.
Bitches always have to put their paws on your riches.
But I think we said this on last episode, though. I think that CeeLo is just overall more talented. I mean, CeeLo's written songs.
I'm sick of all of this undeserved pub from somebody that we don't even know is great enough to make a solo MC record when he made all of this based off of MCing. Yeah. You understand all of this is based off of MCing, and we do not know if this guy can make a solo record. Do you know how disrespectful that is to everybody else that is considered to be in the class with him that we know can make great solo records?
Hey, man, you sound like me a year and a half ago.
Right. I'm sick of the hall passes now, Mike, because it's like, oh, you're doing commercials now? No, nigga. No, you're not. You need to be rapping. How about that shit? I get to do what I want when I feel like it. Right. You've been doing that for 2 decades. How about you do what got you in the position to do what you want for 2 decades every now and then, which is rap.
So you think that I guess I'm getting from you.
Big Boy just dropped an album.
Big Boy just dropped an album. He's the one that should be on the commercial.
Ain't letting this shit go, Mike. You let this shit fly on social media. Said I said it, run tell that. This some bullshit, sucker ass shit.
So what I'm getting from you is you don't like the fact that it seems that Andre is using other things outside of rap to garner attention.
But it's all based off of rap, but he disassociates himself from rap conveniently at every turn. I'm not inspired by rap. It's not good enough for me.
But everything you're getting is from rap.
Everything you're getting is based on what you did in rap, because for the last 2 decades, you haven't done a lot. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, because it's not like he's preoccupied with movie roles.
Mike, tell me I'm wrong in that most of what we respect him for and what he's getting off of this is based off of his rap career. Mike, his rap career ended almost 2 decades ago because he hasn't rapped regularly in over 2 decades that we've heard for consumption. So when he's talking about and getting into these other, no, that's rap shit. So you respect this rap shit and participate.
Yeah.
Right. You should participate in this if it's still getting you stuff. Because when they're pulling, that's Andre from Outkast. He don't got no solo career.
This is true. I don't know what to say.
Does he own solo? Does he own businesses like Big Boy does that we don't know about? Is he a purveyor of some other businesses that we do not know about? No, nigga, we know you about this rap shit from Outkast.
Well, this is the thing too.
When's when you come out, Mike?
No, 2000.
You haven't rapped regularly in 2020.
Even outside of that, I think my thing is, being somebody. My thing, though, being somebody from Atlanta, Georgia, right, and seeing the rise of the Dungeon Family and everything that they meant to Atlanta's music scene, I think that where I kind of depart from, what Andre is the fact that I love the fact that Big Boy actually holds up the Outkast legacy, holds down the Dungeon Family. And in ways that it seems like Andre kind of abandons. I remember this like probably for the rest of my life, right? They were on Greg Street's show promoting the Dungeon Family compilation album. And mind you, Greg Street was playing their records heavy because he got on the radio station in '95 in Atlanta, and he was like champion in the Dungeon Family. Every time that album came out, he would play the album from beginning to end, non-stop. They would have his whole show locked down whenever they came out with anything. And I remember he played Thought Process when the whole Dungeon Family was in there. Andre was in there. And as a fan of the music, Greg Street stopped the verse at the end. It was like, yo, Andre, spit that. And Andre was like, you know the verse. I was like, whoa. I was like,
that's what I'm talking about.
I was like,
Mike,
wow, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, Mike, you know how special that
I was like,
verse
man, we
is?
love
Mike,
you, dog.
Mike,
Come
Mike,
on, man.
Mike, do you understand how special this is what I'm talking about? It almost seems like that early on. It's like, oh, you never really understood how special you was to us. Nobody from the South ever rapped on that
he
level.
knows.
Oh, he knows? Well, guess what? More strikes against him for behaving this way. Like, he don't understand how many people feel a certain type of way about him as an MC. The guy who executive produced my first album, Mike, still thinks he might be the greatest because, like he says, Coop, a rhyme is a rhyme. And when it comes to composing a rhyme, who does it better than this guy? Totally right. Show me when he's done it consistently. Show me when he's done it by
consistency
himself.
means something.
Show me when
Even with this whole Airbnb thing, the Big Boy has done with the Dungeon Family's original home in Atlanta, and making that a shrine and fixing that up with all the Outcast decor and all that. And it's like Big Boy is carrying on the legacy of the Dungeon Family, and it's like, and I'm like, I would like for Andre to, I mean, you're doing Squarespace commercials. I would like for him to at least shout that out. Like, that's where you got your start. It wasn't just Big Boy that got his start from there. Everybody got their start from there. And I mean, just abandoning those roots, I think those are some of the things that, you know, are kind of disappointing for me as a fan. And, you know, like I said, being a fan from Atlanta that was actually here when it happened, like, we love Dre. Right. And it feels like we're not getting the love back. I'll put it that way.
No, Mike. We've been not getting the love back. But what I'm talking about going on right now is somebody that is taking advantage of the love. Forget not getting the love back. Most of these stars ain't going to give you the love back. That's cool. He's taking advantage of it is what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you something that stayed with me. You know, I follow Big Gip on Instagram. He's one of my favorite follows on Instagram. There was a picture when probably been about 2 years ago now, where they were out in Cali, and there's a picture of the whole Dungeon family, and he's referencing the fact about how everybody's talking about how Dre is Ghost, and he's like, everybody talking about where little bruh is, but nobody ever asked who's the person taking the picture, and I'm like, valid, but I remember thinking that valid ass point, but then I'm in thinking like, How long Lil Bruh gonna hang in the shadows when Lil Bruh, the biggest star, everybody looking for, waiting for, and checking for? Y'all can't hide him. He can't hide from his greatness, Mike. And it seemed like he been running and hiding from his own greatness. And all we want you to do is show up consistently. We can't even get Mike. It's like
not gonna happen.
Mike, what do football players say? What the best ability is? What is it?
Availability. Right.
So he don't get in because, like, you might have the best, you know, intangible abilities, but we can't trust your availability. Yeah. And about the fact that we can't trust your availability is why I'm pissed off, because we can trust you to do a commercial ad, but we can't trust you to be available to do some rap shit when you inspired. Mike, he made guys like you and me believe that we could rhyme and make it. Does he understand what he did to us? Did he understand what he did to a region of MCs? Scarface didn't do that. Scarface gave us our credibility. He is the reason that they come down here and check for top-notch MCs.
Dre out here getting the bag, man. You know, Frank Ocean, when he gets on the Frank Ocean record, you get the bag. You know, when you're on the Drake record, you get the bag.
Mike, they were worth 40, 50 million separately after Stankonia. Don't nobody want to hear that shit either about the bag. You've been had the bag too. Don't nobody want to hear that. I'm a fan of yours.
Man.
I checked the stats. I checked the numbers. Don't run that on me. They let you play Jimi Hendrix in a movie. Don't run that on me.
Yeah.
They let you play Jimi Hendrix, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Mike, why they let him play Jimi Hendrix?
They respected him as an artist.
Based on his singing career?
Nah, that was because of the rap shit.
Thank you.
Everybody keeps talking about this Saba album, man. We gotta talk about it Friday. In addition to everything else that's coming out,
What album?
A few good things. Saba.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. Man, we were on a little bit longer than I thought we were gonna be on, but let's talk about.
You pissed me off with that commercial shit. I don't play that shit.
Not the commercial. Speaking of commercials. Let's talk about the Super Bowl halftime. So, Super Bowl is going to be this Sunday. And Eminem is out in L.A. He did a pop-up, or he's doing a pop-up this weekend for Mom's Spaghetti. He's getting it popping. You know what I'm saying? Snoop's got some new music coming with Nas. He's getting it popping. Dre just put out a stream of, he got 6 songs available for streaming from last week. He's getting it popping. Mary is dropping an album next week. And everybody's waiting on Kung Fu Kenny. Still no signs of Kendrick Lamar's music. Performance is coming up this Sunday. Do you think we're going to get some new Kendrick Lamar music this Friday?
I think he's been influenced by Andre now more than on an artistic level. Apparently, this nigga taking too long. I'm super pissed right now.
Silence is golden. Like he's
ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
I guess somebody told him that, you're going to get ranked higher if you don't make any more music.
Oh, is that what they told him? They lied to him. They lied to both of them.
Because people who are inactive somehow get held higher in hip-hop.
Not anymore, Mike. That's over. Tell them that's over. You haven't rapped regularly in 22 years and 5 years, respectively. Where's your shit?
So it's a no for you. You don't think that Kendrick's coming out Friday before the Super Bowl?
I don't even care anymore. The fact that he hasn't seized this moment while everybody... It's like, Mike, I told you, it's like when we were having that Jay Electronica conversation a couple years ago, it's like, oh, I'm not about to care and promote it because he don't seem like he care and promoting it. So we're not going to talk about it no more.
Well, how would you feel if Kendrick Lamar ends up on one of these Super Bowl commercials?
You don't care, we don't care then. How about that? No. You got to start giving these dudes the same energy back. It's like, oh, you don't care about your all-time great rap career? Well, then why should we, nigga? We got plenty of great rappers to replace you. Next? Who we talking about next?
So how do you feel if Kendrick Lamar ends up one of these excuse me, I can't even talk. How would you feel if Kendrick ends up on one of these Super Bowl commercials Sunday?
Has he been so far?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's performing. First of all, man, all right, the game got Drillmatic on the way.
Right.
And so I don't even really know why Kendrick's actually on this bill. And I say that respectfully because I hold Kendrick high. You know that. He hasn't dropped any music.
I hold him higher than you do, I think.
Kendrick hasn't dropped any music in 5 years. We know that. But the music he has dropped, it's not like he has hits that stand next to any of the acts that are up there on that stage. And y'all know I talk my shit about Eminem and all that. Eminem belongs on that stage. He is a superstar. He's a pop crossover star. And let's just be real. He connects to that NFL audience, right? So I get that. So he deserves to be up there. Snoop has monstrous hits. Mary has a huge hit with Dre. Dre has monstrous hits.
She's married.
Kendrick...
He's married.
Yeah, she's married. Kendrick, I'm not even sure what song he's going to perform. And I think that for him being the current guy in the lineup, we would expect music from him over anybody else. And it seems like everybody else is delivering something new except for him. So if Kendrick's not bringing new music, I don't know why he's even on this lineup. Is what I'm saying.
Mike, caveat: still one final opportunity for a sneak attack where his new music is going to start getting previewed in the first set of ads before the halftime show.
Okay.
Then we get the new music live at halftime because that's all that's left.
I don't think that's. I'm telling you, Mike, I don't think that's going to happen.
Mike, and you want to know why I don't think that that's going to happen? Andre 3000. We've held on before. Like, that's why I keep talking about him and what he's doing and how he's moving. Mike, who he sound like on To Pimp a Butterfly the most inspired by?
Andre.
I ain't trusting none of this shit from this
So you're
creative.
blaming Andre for his
I'm not blaming.
inactivity.
I'm not blaming Andre. I'm just saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I can see the tree that he come off of. I can see the behavior. I can see how this went before. I can see the investment. If he don't show up at the Super Bowl, I'm gonna need the check because I'm out because it's been 5 years. Freddie Gibbs, Conway the Machine, Pusha T, Nas for like the third generation of his career. He got having like his third career right now. He's having his third career. We're waiting you to come back from your first one. Like hell no. It's like because it's like that's what I'm saying is like what Andre did do for me as somebody that's a fan is. It's like no, I don't want to hear this 5-year break and all this. No. You rap or you don't.
Yeah.
Rap? Do you rap well? Are you great? Show me. Michael Jordan took 3 years off, came back, was smoking cigars and drinking, and I can still see that he was great. Show me you're great.
And you know what? I was talking this stuff about Andre maybe like a year or so ago. Same thing with Kendrick. I think that Nas's current run with King's Disease and King's Disease 2 and Magic has shown you like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Mike, do you understand the last 3 projects that Nas has dropped is comparable to Kendrick's best run? He's only had 1 run, Mike. This is a guy on his 3rd or 4th run.
I think the difference between Kendrick and Andre is the fact that Kendrick says stuff like smoking on your top 5, and he says, basically he's out here to be the best.
He's saying he's the best.
Yeah, when you're saying you're the best, you have to consistently prove that.
First of all, you're not smoking on Nas. So you're not smoking on anybody's top 5 right now. How about that? You're not.
But again, like I always say, bro.
Nas exists and breathe life like right now again, like lyrically like this. It's like, well, you're not even, Mike, I want you to understand this. Just about the zone that Nas is in right now takes him out of conversation to be the best lyricist when he comes back. So what you were is already been taken from you. Because you're not Conway or Nas lyrically on the mic right now, how they're operating. Because their prime lyricism that we're seeing right now, Nas' second prime, is better than your prime lyricism. Like, does Kendrick have mic performances like The Truth?
DeCarlo says, Mike, it's time to give the crown to J. Cole. I'm not mad at that.
I can't necessarily
I'm not mad at that.
I cannot disagree.
I can't disagree.
I can't disagree.
Because you know what? Cole has been active in a very active state. And when there's a lot of guys around, he got on the Benny song and he did his thing. And like I said last week, he didn't go on there, saying some super long verse, rapping all fast. He just went out there and did his thing. And he showed that he was the superior MC of the two, of a guy who's super qualifiable. A guy whose buzz is super high.
No, Mike. He out-rapped a guy who can arguably himself be the best MC in the game. What does that say about him?
Straight up.
Like, so like this Kendrick shit.
And he didn't even make no bones about it. He didn't make a big deal about it. He just did his thing. And you're like, yeah, he's that guy.
He been getting busy, and he been getting busy like that for about the last 2 years steady, while the other guy that is clearly more talented has not been operating. But this is what I mean about how rap is an important type of sport. Like, and I compare it to tennis oftentimes. In tennis, Mike, just like rap, your skill is going to take you certain places. Your will going to take you over the top a lot of the time when you're dealing with comparable competition.
Yeah.
Like that skill shit, when it run into the will starts showing. So what we're starting to see right now is we're starting to see J. Cole's will and love to be a prominent MC, even though his peak and his prime in terms of how he's viewed may be more on the back nine than the front nine. He like, nah, nigga, I can still show up and perform against anybody because this is what I do.
And he's not scared to do so.
These niggas sitting up here acting like, oh, well, I'm a great MC, but when I feel like being a great MC, if you don't get out of here with that delicate ass shit, this is rap. Don't you understand that?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that delicate ass shit. I rap when I feel like it. No, get out of here with that soft ass shit. This is rap, fam.
And Michael says Kendrick's gonna surprise you guys. I don't think he is.
Not till Sunday. If he surprises me on Sunday with some new music, we'll be fine. But what I don't want to hear is any more smoking on your top 5. I don't want to hear any more references to be you being the best MC of the game, like you're some sort of savior.
Because the thing is, when the game got competitive, you went away.
Right, and you came around in a week time. I want to see you perform against this competition, and nothing for a guy like me is going to do. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to talk about how you don't compete against top-notch competition.
Because like, Cole could have done the same thing. Cole could have went away.
No, because
his legacy's intact. He didn't.
No. Cole is earning extra stripes right now because Cole is operating in new climate with new conditions, new competition, and thriving because he's a motherfucking MC, Mike.
He is. You remember the Jeezy song, right? Where they were making a big deal about, Cole and Kendrick being on the same record. Mm-hmm. Cole got on there and rapped. Kendrick got on there singing. Like something that, my favorite rapper, Andre 3000, would do.
No, we're not having that shit no more, Mike. That shit a rap. Like, nigga, like y'all made y'all bones rapping. Y'all get respected off rap.
Yeah, you're not a top 10 singer all the time.
Right. No. If you want to be respected as a singer or as an ad placer or a marketing guy or a retire from rap and let's see how many roles you get. Retire from rap. Go out. I wish either one of them would formally go retire from rap.
But the funny thing is, though, Coop, none of them will say, you know what, I'm really done with rap.
No, because they get so much stuff based on what they've done for a brief moment in time in both of their cases in about a 5-6 year run in rap. And they live off and exist off of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But stop making it seem like you that dude. Or stop making it seem like we should wait on you.
I will say this, in Andre's defense, he doesn't walk around like that.
Right.
But people give him that anyway.
It'd be convenient how he pops up. It's getting too convenient for
That's
me.
Probably going to be a Super Bowl commercial, I would imagine. That Squarespace commercial is probably a Super Bowl commercial because they released it today.
That's very problematic, Mike.
It's what it is. Another thing I didn't like, speaking of Super Bowl, when Big Boy was doing the Super Bowl in Atlanta and people had decided for whatever reason that they're not going to support anybody black performing at the halftime show, but all the players that were playing were black. And anyway, everybody was coming down on Big Boy. It took CeeLo to come out and support Big Boy. Because again, the Super Bowl's not in Atlanta every year. And if Big Boy is doing the Super Bowl halftime show in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes sense. Not to mention that his son was going to, was about to go into college football and is trying to get to the NFL. So what's he supposed to say? Kiss my ass? Whatever. Anyway, it took CeeLo to stand up for Big Boy. Andre said nothing while Big Boy was catching all this heat about performing at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Come on, man.
So why is Big Boy performing at the halftime show of the Super Bowl that year? Because the Super Bowl is where?
In Atlanta.
Mike.
It's the only reason why he did it.
Mike, once again, let's go ahead and say this.
He's an ambassador for the city. Big Boy is the king of Atlanta, in my opinion.
The Super Bowl is going on in Atlanta, Georgia. The home place of what hip-hop group, Mike?
Outkast.
And once again, this guy is not showing up in a time where he really need to show up about his city, about his partner who showed up.
Yeah.
Let's contextualize it and go to what's going on this Sunday, Mike. Where's the Super Bowl at, Mike?
That's in Cali. It's in L.A.
And who they rolling out, Mike? Who they rolling out in Inglewood?
Dr. Dre.
And who all jumping behind Dr. Dre?
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Or Snoop Dogg. I would say Doggy Dogg because he's doing Death Row stuff. Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar.
You see what I'm talking about now with Andre?
Support. It's support.
You see what I'm talking about now with Andre?
Support your homies. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, support your homies. And like you said,
the Super
Andre
Bowl
wouldn't
in Atlanta and Big Boy. The Super Bowl is in Atlanta and Big Boy is performing by himself.
Because this
is some all-time sucker shit that we giving hall passes out to that we not giving out hall passes to anymore. Understand the sucker shit. Big Boy performing by himself in Atlanta, but they rallying around Dre and Cali. What I tell you about that Cali vibe, Mike, how they support their artists.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. It be some sucker shit sometimes. Let's call the sucker shit what it is and stop holding him up so high when he doing sucker shit to his man. I don't care if y'all are friends. I don't give a shit.
Support your homie, man.
Support the hip hop media and news, which means when the Super Bowl's coming to Atlanta, if you can get a Squarespace commercial around the time the Super Bowl is being held in LA, get your motherfucking ass on stage when Big Boy.
Well, no, even if you don't get on stage, even if you
Super
look,
Bowl. No. I all that. No. I want it all now. Get your ass on stage.
Cool. Even if you got stage fright.
Now, I don't want no ad. I don't want no appearance. Now I want you on stage because now I want people to understand what it looks like when the Super Bowl coming to Inglewood and LA. Dr. Dre got all the homies round up around him. Big Boy sitting out here on a solo mission, and CeeLo got to stand up for him.
Yeah, so, I didn't like that.
Who's the star of all the rappers in Atlanta that ever came out? Even above T.I. Who we all talk about, Mike?
3.
Sick of this sucker shit.
I mean, like I said, man, you gotta support your homeboys, man. Like, I don't get it.
Shit, now. You doing commercials? You should have never told me that on live. You should have never said that to me on live. You should have texted me.
He didn't like the commercial, guys.
I don't want to see the commercial. Fuck the commercial.
Oh man. No. Well, see, you know what? It's
you got that commercial off rap and you discredit rap and your partner in rhyme at every turn. No, nigga. No. I'm sick of this halfway shit.
I feel you.
No.
And that's why, you know what? That's why I've been championing Big Boy so much, man. Because Big Boy.
You believe that we could rap down here. The nerve of you, nigga. No. Big
Boy is the ultimate partner, man. He's held it down.
Shout out to Big Boy and not that other nigga. That's some sucker shit if I seen it. We need to start calling it what it is. This shit Kendrick doing, sucker shit.
Shout out to the Rap Roundtable in here, man. Rap Roundtable's in the chat.
Who ain't on no sucker shit.
Man, we love the verses. The people love the verses, and we might be challenging y'all to a new one because, Coop, tell them. You said you got Nas features for him, right?
Mike, I'm upset.
Yeah. I see. If you're just tuning in, the Andre 3000 Squarespace commercial has Coop upset.
Rapped in 22 years? How you get the commercial? From your movie roles?
No. It's because y'all hold him so high as an individual. Individual.
Squarespace commercial ads and Big Boy just dropped the best rap album of his career. I'm done, Mike. I'm pissed. I don't want to see no big get post taking up for why fam ain't there. I don't want to see Big Boy posting him at his son's games. I don't give a shit because I'm talking about the rap shit and about the rap shit about it. He foul, he out of line. Because everything that you have is based on this rap shit.
That's real.
That's real.
Let's talk to Rap Roundtable real quick since they in the chat.
Oh, I'm so mad. I don't think you get a fucking commercial, nigga. You got a lot of nerve, nigga. We've been taking up for you, Ma. Been taking up for you most of my adult life.
Coop has been definitely taking up for you. You could go to previous episodes. You can
go to so many episodes where I'm taking up for you.
Because I was talking about shit.
I'll never take up for him ever again, Mike. Ever again about anything. Well, I ain't taking up for him no more.
You know, I'm still an Outkast fan, but you know.
Commercials and shit. I don't want to hear the Outkast records like that right now either.
Dang. Nah, you know, I still love
there's
Outkast.
Some sucker shit going on.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think that Outkast is going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I don't know. They probably going to base it. They probably going to base it off of he going to show up or not. So probably not.
Oh, he's going to show up. Cool. He'll show up to that. He'll show up. Right?
Yeah, he'll going to show up for them?
Yeah, he'll show up to that.
Mike, I would prefer if he didn't make this.
He'll show up to that.
If he didn't. How about this? Since you don't show up for nothing else involved in this culture, how about you keep on not showing up? Right?
Nah, he'll show up to that. He'll show up to that. That's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Keep that shit right now. That's what he can do.
Rap Roundtable says, y'all letting Coop slander K-Dot? I mean, we're both... Listen, this is the whole thing.
Slandering K-Dot. I'm speaking facts. That nigga don't rap no more either.
He's not coming out with a...
How many
Listen,
verses have we got since 2016 out of this nigga? I'm letting everybody go, no, fuck this shit. I'm tired
Kendrick
of being nice.
Lamar's not dropping an album this year.
I'm tired of being nice to this nigga. When did Damn come out?
That was 2017. I think it was like in March. I know it was the early part of the year.
What year? I think it was April to be exact.
April, something like that? Okay.
April
So we're coming up on 5 years.
Coming up on 5 years. Mike, how many verses have we got from Kendrick Lamar since then?
He jumped on Baby Kim's joint twice last year.
We got the Black Panther soundtrack. So we got like what? We got like
Man, the
20
Black
verses.
Panther. Listen, man,
verses.
let's keep it real, man. The Black Panther soundtrack
Let's do
was
some
some
arithmetic right quick on how much this nigga ain't rapped the last 5 years. Like 20 verses in 5 years since your ass rapped on a regular basis. So sick of these niggas.
Nah, man, you know, he's not dropping, man.
Has he done 20 verses? Mike, has he done 20 verses in the last 5 years? Is that a fair estimate of verses to say that he's
I don't think he's done 20 verses in the last 5 years.
5 years, that's 60 months, Mike. So if he's done 20 verses in the last 5 years, Mike, that's an average of one verse every 3 months, and that's if he's done 20. I'm tired of talking about this shit with these niggas. You understand what I'm saying?
This is the thing, Rap Roundtable, man.
We be talking about these dudes like they rap. Do you rap? Have you done more than one verse every 3 months in the last 5 years? Because I don't think we got 20 verses from this guy in the last 5 years. I'm so sick of this weak ass shit.
Niggas is active right now. Nas just dropped 2 albums in 1 year.
Mike,
in his 27th year of his career.
Mike, there's 20 verses on Magic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. Listen, my thing is, man,
Does Andre
Kendrick
3000 have 20 verses in the last 20 years that we can clarify clearly?
No, not really.
Well, do we have 20 verses in the last 20 years from him?
I don't know. That's a stretch.
Get these niggas off to the side, please. They don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
they're
Listen, I guess I just don't understand why Kendrick's on the lineup. I don't understand why Kendrick's on the Super Bowl lineup if he doesn't have any new music coming. And I don't think that Kendrick's dropping an album this year, period. I think that the climate is too heavy. I think that Pusha T's coming out very, very soon. I think that Conway and Benny are coming out very soon. We're probably going to get another J. Cole project pretty soon with all the collaborations he's doing. Freddie Gibbs is coming out at some point pretty soon. And honestly, man, there's no direct lane for Kendrick to just dominate. So I don't think he's going to attempt it. I think that sonically things are totally different than they were 5 years ago in 2017. So he's going to have to do something sonically different because that stuff that he was doing on Baby Kim's project, I don't think that kind of production is going to work for him.
Okay, Mike. So I was wrong. It's been 58 months since he released an album, and he hasn't done 20 verses.
No, he hasn't. I was going to say, where'd you get that number from? Because I thought it was well under.
I was being nice. And so I want you to understand, and I want people to listen to this. He doesn't even average 2 verses every 3 months for the last 5 years. Listen to what I'm saying. Where else can you go and be considered to be great at your job where your output is that you show up maybe 2 times every 3 to 6 months in a 5-year stretch? Where?
So you're pushing Kendrick behind Pusha T and Jadakiss. That's what I'm hearing.
Mike, he about to catch a fade like ain't nobody caught in a minute.
You think he's gonna, whenever he does drop, you think he's gonna drop a dud, or you think he's gonna return to prominence with it? Is there anything that he could do at this point that could redeem the 5-year break?
Yes, he can make an album that sounds better than KD3. He can make an album that sounds better than Pusha T's album, Freddie Gibbs' album, Benny the Butcher's album, Conway the Machine album, since he's smoking on my top 5. Right, remember that? You smoking on top 5. That's my top 5. Let's see you make albums better than my top 5. Because I'm going to spend the rest of this year, Mike, every time, if I do hear something be like, what top 5 was he talking about smoking on again with his 5-year absence having ass? Like, why do these niggas think that it's okay not to be dedicated to this craft? Right.
Like I said, it's been told to them that you can do that and be held high. Shout out to Ray Realms. He says that the next time you brothers in the rap roundtable, there needs to be more independent and impartial judgment. Like we need a panel. We need a panel outside of the panel. We need a moderator.
Ooh, Mike, I like that. I like the moderator idea. Somebody to be like, this is what it is. But somebody with a valid rap opinion too. I like that idea.
Yeah. We gotta definitely.
What I don't like is rappers who don't rap that make a whole fortune and living and career off of not rapping after rapping for a brief time.
I mean, we just have to factor that in the overall scope. And I think that
say you don't rap. Say you don't rap. Say you don't rap on a regular basis. Like say you don't rap. And let's see what your life look like when you say you don't rap. It's kind of like, you get what I'm saying? That's why
Sore Thumb says Kendrick is already certified. He could take 10 years off and still have a better catalog.
Then who? What the fuck are you talking about? We're about to have it today. What the fuck are you talking about?
His catalog is strong.
It ain't 10 years off strong because Rakim took 5 years off and his catalog's not better than Rakim's first 3 albums. And we were giving Rakim shit about taking 5 years off. So no, catalog ain't like that. Next.
But even with that, Rakim continued to work. You cannot just do nothing. Like, what we can accept is if Kendrick's putting out efforts and they aren't as good as the previous ones, right? We could take everything into consideration. But if you don't do anything, you can't sit there and sit on that and you're sitting on your throne and you're still up there. You can't do that.
I gotta go get the charger to this plug right quick so this doesn't go dead, Mike. I want you to pull up all of Kendrick's verses since 2017 while I'm gone. Pull up Andre 3000's verses too, Mike. We about to talk about 7 verses in the last 7 years.
Go get your charger real quick. Yeah, Coop is heated right now. We didn't even expect to be on this long. But do you guys believe that Kendrick's actually going to drop some material before the Super Bowl? And if he doesn't, I mean, what really is the point of doing the Super Bowl? I think that the better question, too, and y'all could say this in the chat also, what song do you think Kendrick's actually going to perform in the Super Bowl halftime? Saying, Coop, get him. 10 years off, Drake clears Kendrick. I agree. 10 years off, we can't sit here and factor in everything that J. Cole's doing and sit here and say that Kendrick's even in the same league as J. Cole if he took 10 years off.
Hold on. First of all, Mike, this is why I keep bringing up the Rakim break. I want you to understand this. Kendrick Lamar and Andre 3000, you're not Rakim.
That's facts. That's facts.
Rakim took 5 years off, and we was giving him smoke about taking 5 years off. Who do you niggas think you are?
And his group broke up. His group broke up.
The leader. You didn't make Late the Rhythm hit him. Like, nigga, none of you niggas aren't the author of like 10 of the 50 greatest rap songs ever before the age of 30. Like, who do you think you are?
I don't know.
You're not even the god. Stop that.
But you know what? I think that the
people make these niggas think they more special than they are. You're not even Rakim. Neither one of you. Show up and perform. Get the fuck out of here with that.
I don't think Kendrick's dropping anything this year.
Well, good.
You think he's dropping this year?
Like, that might be best for him because he might get smoked and exposed because he's not Rakim.
No,
is he?
No, he's not Rakim.
No, he's not Rakim. Rakim took 5 years off when you're arguably the greatest MC of all time who ever lived and walked and breathed. You can take 5 years off and maybe get away with it. You niggas can't take this time off and get away with it. Who told you was God?
Not to mention the foundation that Rakim set when he came in the game. Like, he changed the game lyrically. He changed the pace. He could walk away.
Right. He's 10 years ahead of the craft on an MC level.
Yeah.
Andre and Kendrick ain't never been 10 years ahead of nothing or nobody.
No, that's real.
Who do you think you are? Stop acting like you something that you not. That's what I'm saying. It done got to like this arrogant, haughty level of it where it's like, hold on.
Great comment from Taz Angel. Shout out to her. She says they suffer from King's disease.
Ooh, they are. They suffering from King's disease. She's right. Yeah. Like you niggas' stats are inflated. It's like y'all ain't even top 5 niggas. What is you talking about?
Nah. And Kendrick was well on his way.
Was Mike 5 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Because the thing is, man, in this era, how quickly music comes out, there's no excuse to take a 5-year break. And whenever we do hear this new Kendrick album, it better sound like you took a 5-year break.
Oh,
And I
Mike,
don't think it will.
Mike, I'm officially grading him on the harshest curve that I've ever graded anybody. I ain't even about to like. No, it's not about. No, everything better be fucking flawless. Like you done talk to your Mike. He started talking shit on Control and never stopped talking shit. And I was like, man, you better hope this climate don't ever change on you. The climate has changed. You better make the product. You better make the album. I'm gonna be the first person to break your shit down, inch for inch, beat for beat, rhyme for rhyme, critique it, toss that shit up because you talking about it like no, he was talking on Damn like he was Rakim in '88, like he was Nas in '94, like he was Jay in '99. Let's find out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Kendrick.
I heard him
let's just say
some big boy talk on there about his MC skills.
Let's just say, Coop.
Come outside. Let me see it. Let me see. Come outside with all these dudes can rap. Because they wasn't dudes that could rap in 2016, 17 like this. They can rap their ass off now. It ain't just cold. Bring your ass outside. Let me see it.
Cool. Let's just say that Pusha T, Benny the Butcher, Conway, Freddie, and Jay Electronica, J. Cole, and Kendrick all on the same song somehow. I'm not confident that Kendrick walks away with the best verse like that.
Mike, I don't think he's walking away with the best verse. Mike, I'm going to go back to nostalgia on Pusha T's My Name Is My Name again and remind people that was Kendrick at his peak with his all-time buzz, and people still wouldn't hip the Pusha like that, and that's a draw at best. Stop acting like this guy is above and beyond the stratosphere of being touched.
Well, I mean, that was a very entertaining show. Is there anything else we have to cover here?
King's Disease 2, Magic, From a King to a God, Pray for Paris, Alfredo, Astro World, Mike. Don't nobody give a fuck about Damn no more. All right?
I think Damn has been forgotten, to be perfectly honest.
Mike, because what happened is the competition stepped up, the album level making got stepped up. I told you, it's like if he makes an album that's equivalent to Damn, that's not going to cut it for the shit that he has talked.
I don't think people are even looking for a new Kendrick Lamar album like that anymore. I mean, if it comes, it comes.
I don't agree with that, Mike.
No, if it comes, it comes. But I don't think that people are sitting here like, man, if it doesn't come, my year is ruined. It's so much to look forward to.
So here's what I'm saying when I'm saying he's not Rakim, and here's what I mean about how we about to find out. You remember when Rakim dropped the 18th letter?
Mm-hmm.
You know what we all said? He's still the greatest MC of all time. You think anybody's going to say that if Kendrick don't drop no classic shit? Right, because you're not that. So I suggest you bring your ass out here and perform. Because Rakim could come out on the 18th letter and make a dope album, but show references that gave credence to the fact of the guy that we heard on those first 4 albums that was the greatest MC of all time. You don't have it like that on your first 4 albums. Yeah. You didn't make My Melody. You didn't think Eric B is president. Follow the Leader. Microphone Fiend. Mahogany. Don't Sweat the Technique. Casualties of War. Let the Rhythm Hit 'em. Alpha and Omega. You get what I'm saying? Mike, I ain't no joke. I know you got soul. You didn't make these records. You ain't never looked at it like that. The climate was weak. And I want to hear this, Mike. This shit better be great. These niggas better be great. Every Andre 3000 verse from now on better be great too, because that's how you really are getting recognized and notarized out here in this motherfucker. Since you don't realize it either, these niggas got a lot of.
Yeah, I think at this point,
calling niggas out.
I think a lot of people in the Cole, Kendrick, Drake generation are leaning towards J. Cole being their GOAT of their generation, and the people who lean towards the hits, they say Drake.
They should.
So
I'm officially gonna let them do that because you're not Rakim, and you don't just get to disappear for 5 years and think that we're supposed to like pop back up and be so like in enthralled or in awe. You like, nigga, you was never Nas, you was never Big, you was never Jay, you was never Pop. Like to start off with, you was never that.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew it was a bad sign when he put that letter out there. I'm like, we out here making music and you putting out letters?
You remember what, Mike, you remember what I sent you when you sent me that letter?
I don't remember. What did you send me?
It was some very unkind emojis that were expressing how I was feeling about the situation.
Yeah. So
about the behavior, about the type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Where the music at?
Where the music at, nigga?
Well, we'll see Friday. We're doing the show Friday. We're gonna be covering new music like we normally do on Friday.
It won't be his, Mike. It won't be his. Like, I want people to understand too, Mike. For about a year and a half, I've sat on this show and I've championed Andre 3000 and Kendrick Lamar. Have I not?
Yes, you have.
And what have they done?
The same shit that they had done when you were talking about them and championing them.
Hold on. Which is what? There we go, Mike. What have they done again? Say that again so the people
not a
understand.
thing.
Or not a goddamn thing.
I was the one talking that stuff. And that's why I'm sitting here letting you talk, because I said this a year and a half ago.
You want to know what it is about, Mike? My life is a little different now. I got more freedom than I've ever had before in terms of how I set my work schedule, Mike. But I get up every single day and I go to work.
Yeah.
I go to work about the life insurance with NASB. I go to work about According to Hip Hop. I go to work about Crafts by Cooper. But every single day about my job / career, about my entrepreneurial business, about our endeavor. I get up and I go to work every single day. I'm 40 years old, Mike. And so when I got niggas that rap, that are making millions of dollars, that are younger than me or older than me,
living the dream.
And you got everything that you, because Mike, let's not get it twisted. You and I both know we're blessed. We have great lives. Nigga, you don't want to get up and go to work and you want me to respect you as a man? Come catch me out here in the streets, nigga, and say that shit to me about how you don't like to work while I'm busting my ass like this. What you think gonna happen, Mike?
Yeah,
what you think gonna happen with any average regular man like that? And so I want people to understand what's really going on. These are men, and I want you to understand this is a problem in our community because we talk about our work ethic a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they don't champion these men's work ethic or lack thereof. Because I hear black women specifically in our culture speak to our work ethic being an issue sometimes. Well, then don't give these niggas no hall pass because these niggas not going to work. Me and Mike.
At least not when it comes to music.
Mike, and it's music. Like, you get to go to the studio and listen to beats and write all day, and you are struggling with this shit, my nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's expression. It's like,
well, let me express that you can go walk around with me and deal with people who have diabetes and toe amputations, or people who are recovering from cancer that can't get the insurance they have, even though they're hardworking, or people who are elderly and having their grandkids take advantage of them because they don't like to go to work either. Like, come out here and tell the real world and kick this shit. Nigga.
No, you're right.
And pad and write a rhyme, because I see the type of shit every day. Oh, it'll inspire you to write a rhyme. Maybe your ass need to go outside and stop being so fucking insulated.
Yeah. No, you're right. People living a real life out here. And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat, they might be at work right now, or headed to work, or just got off work.
I just went through some real shit the last 2 days with a family that affected me. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, I could write about this situation for the next 2 years, but my ass was outside working, Mike.
You got to be in tune with the people. And on that note, man, we're going to get up out of here, man. We appreciate everybody in the chat being real engaging today. And we want everybody to subscribe to According to Hip Hop on YouTube. Hit the bell icon. Tell some of your folks to subscribe too, because we have the realest hip hop conversations in here. And Cooper's unfiltered today, and you was keeping it all the way real.
I mean that shit. These niggas better take their ass to work. I take my ass to work every day. Are you a man or not?
Hey.